Every single decision you make today has a financial consequence. The coffee you bought this morning, the car you didn't buy last year, the salary you accepted without negotiating. Finance isn't a subject for Wall Street bankers in suits. It is the invisible force running every part of your life. And most people never learned how it actually works. That ends right now. So, what exactly is finance, and what does it look like in the real world? Finance, at its core, is the study of how money moves, how it's created, saved, invested, borrowed, and managed, across individuals, companies, and entire governments. Think of it as the circulatory system of society. Just like blood carries oxygen to every part of your body, money carries value to every part of the economy. Let's break it down into 3 clear categories, with real examples you can actually see in your everyday life. The first category, personal finance. This is the one that directly affects you. Personal finance covers your income, your spending, your savings, and your debt. Here's a striking fact from a 2023 Federal Reserve report. Nearly 37% of Americans could not cover an unexpected $400 expense without borrowing money or selling something. $400. That's not a mansion. That's a car repair, a broken phone, a medical bill. The reason? Most people have never been taught the basics of budgeting, emergency funds, or compound interest. And speaking of compound interest, Albert Einstein reportedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. Whether he actually said it or not, the math is undeniable. If you invest $5,000 at age 25 at an average annual return of 7%, which is historically close to the S&P 500 long-term average, by age 65, that single investment grows to over $74,000. You didn't touch it. You just waited. That is personal finance working in your favor. The second category, corporate finance. This is how businesses manage their money. Every company, from a local bakery to Apple Incorporated, has to make financial decisions daily. How do we raise money to grow? Do we borrow from a bank? Do we sell shares to investors? How much profit do we reinvest versus distribute to shareholders? A famous example. In 1976, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started Apple with just $1,750, money they raised by selling Jobs' Volkswagen van and Wozniak's scientific calculator. Today, Apple's market cap has exceeded $3 trillion. That is corporate finance, starting with capital, making smart decisions, and compounding growth over time. The concept behind all of this is called capital structure, the balance between debt and equity a company uses to fund itself. Get it right, and you build an empire. Get it wrong, and even billion-dollar companies collapse. Lehman Brothers 2008 is proof of that. The third category, public finance. This is how governments handle money, and it affects every single citizen, whether they realize it or not. Public finance includes taxation, government spending, national debt, and monetary policy. Here's a number that should make you pause. The United States national debt is currently over $34 trillion. That is roughly $100,000 for every single American, man, woman, and child. Governments use public finance tools like interest rate adjustments, controlled by institutions like the Federal Reserve in the US and the Bank of England in the UK, to influence inflation, employment, and economic growth. When the Fed raises interest rates, as they aggressively did between 2022 and 2023, borrowing becomes more expensive. Mortgages go up. Business loans get tighter. Consumers spend less. It's a deliberate lever pulled to slow down inflation. And inflation itself? The U.S. saw inflation hit 9.1% in June 2022, the highest in 40 years. That means $100 worth of groceries in 2021 cost you $109 just 12 months later. Understanding public finance means understanding why your money buys less and what you can do about it. So, personal finance, corporate finance, public finance, 3 branches, 1 system, and it is all connected. The paycheck you earn is corporate finance. The taxes taken from it, public finance. What you do with what's left, personal finance. Warren Buffett said it best, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." Finance is that tree. You don't need a degree. You don't need to be rich to start. You just need to understand the rules of the game. Because whether you play or not, the game is already being played with your money. Now you know what finance is. The next question is, what are you going to do with that knowledge?